Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Okakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching His word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And I say shalom to you Akim out there. And this is a quick sit-down lesson for In the News of November the 3rd, 2022. On this Thursday morning, I meant to say, at 10:46 a.m. in the morning, Central Standard Time. On this Thursday, Salakia. And this is a news article from NBS News, I meant to say, Salakia. Published by Stella Kim and Arota Niramoto and Jennifer Jett of 4 hours ago that published this news article. And the highlight of this news article, and it reads for In the News, November 3rd, 2022, and it reads, North Korea continues missile barrage with ICBM tests. It says Seoul, Korea. North Korea fired 3 more missiles Thursday, including an intercontinental ballistic missile. The South Korean and Japan government said continues to raise tensions a day after it launched a record of at least 23 missiles in a single day. Wow, that's a lot of missiles fired. It says concerns that one of the missiles might fly over Japan, prompting the government to activate its early system, urging. Right, this is the second time Japan public announcers sent a warning of a missile heading towards their way. Like, this is the second warning that this happened within the last month or so. And I'm going to read that again. It says concerns that one of the missiles might fly over Japan, prompting the government to activate its early warning system, urging residents in the North Prefectures of Magaya, Naramaka, and Nayagaya to take cover inside or underground. Officials later said that the missile did not fly over Japan and that it disappeared over the water. North Korea has escalated its missile tests and fiery rhetoric at the United States and South Korea, continuing its large-scale joint military exercise this week. The tests are seen as an effort by North Korean leader Kim Jong-un to develop its regime nuclear arsenal. It says pressure the U.S. to ease crippling sanctions and gain international acceptance as a nuclear state, which I highly doubt that's going to happen. Because the UN, the United Nations, and the United States, they're going to continue to hit North Korea with more economic sanctions. And it says the long-range ballistic missile was fired towards the sea at 7:40 a.m. to 6:40 p.m. Eastern time, meant to say, from the Sinan area in Pyongyang, the North Korean capital. South Korea's Joint Chief of Staff said an hour later, North Korea fired 2 suspected short-range ballistic missiles towards the sea from the Gachyeon area of South Pyongyang Province. Adrian Watson, a spokesperson for the U.S. National Security Council, issued a statement that the United States strongly condemns North Korea's ICBM tests, and that President Joe Biden and his national security are assessing the situation in close coordinate with the allies and partners. This launch is an addition to the week of multiple other ballistic missiles. This week is a fragment violation of the multiple UN Security Council resolutions and a needless raising tensions and risk of destabilizing the security situation in the region, Watson said. She said United States will take all necessary measures to ensure the security of America and its allies of South Korea and Japan, right? Because you got U.S. soldiers stationed along with Korean soldiers, and you got U.S. soldiers stationed in Japan as well, too. And it says the South Korean military says that it has strengthening surveillance and monitoring in close cooperation with the U.S. and that it was monitoring military readiness for all situations. And it says the defense minister Yakuzazu Haramanda said in one of the missiles reaching the altitude of 1,242 miles and flee 466 miles, landing in waters west of Japan, and it may have been a mid-range to long-range missiles, he said. South Korea's Joint Chief of Staff provided similar numbers, saying the missiles reached an altitude of 1,193 miles to flow over 472 miles. About Mach 5, North Korea tested an intercontinental ballistic missile in March, its first test since 2017. The U.S. South Korean official said the country is also preparing for its 7th nuclear test, which will also be the first since 2017. Early last month, North Korea sent a intermediate range ballistic missile soaring over Japan in its longest ever weapons test. The nuclear capability missiles has launched a range to reach the United States Pacific territory of Guam. Tensions have already risen Wednesday when South Korea responded to North Korea barrage by firing 3 to-air surface missiles of its own. The two countries' missiles landed in the international waters across the disputed sea border, but not on their actual territory. South Korea is in a national mourning period after a Halloween crowd crush in Seoul that killed 156 people. President Yoon Suk-yeol's government has been criticizing for the police failure to prevent the tragedy. In addition to approving its military capability, the missile test also serves the North Korea political purpose, said Yves Eric Isley, an associate professor of international studies of Ewha Women's University in Seoul. And it says from Pyongyang perspective, the Yoon administration is unpopularly appears as an opportunity to coerce the South Korean public in opposing security cooperation with Washington, he said by email. Meanwhile, firing off Japan can be intercepted as a threat, not be involved with the security of the Korean Peninsula. This is the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 7. And when ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars, be not troubled, for such things must need be, but the end shall not be yet. And this is the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 8. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows. And this is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 9. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. And this is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 25. And it reads, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth the distress of nations, or perplexity, and the seas of rain raging, waves roaring, Salaki. And this is the book of Joel 3, verse 10. Beat your plowshares and the swords and the plenty hooks into spears, and let the weak say, I am strong, right? Because these nations are showing their military capability and strength, and that's North Korea. North Korea want to be a nuclear state. They declared themselves as a nuclear weapon state, as a threat to South Korea, Japan, and the United States combined. That's why North Korea firing off a huge and standing barrage of ICBM missiles, short-range missiles, long-range missiles, of hypersonic ballistic missiles, and ICBM missiles as well too. This is his largest ICBM missile launches since 2017, as North Korea keeps getting warnings from the UN, which is the United Nations Security Council, and the warnings from the United States and South Korea and Japan as well too, as Kim Jong-un made that statement that his nation want to be a nuclear capability state, a nuclear arsenal state. That's why you're seeing they could continue to barrage of missiles hitting kind of close to the territory, a U.S. territory close to an island, Guam, and hitting right next to Japan in that region, and along of South Korea as well too. So yeah, let the weak say I am strong. That's what you're seeing from these nations. And you're seeing the continued build up of these rumors of wars and commotions of wars, proxy wars, cross-border conflicts over territories, and nations rising up against one another as well too. So you're seeing all these things and tensions between the nations. It's increasing now so more than ever. And this is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this amongst the Gentiles, and prepare war, wake up the mighty man. Right, and that's what you're seeing from North Korea. You're waking up the mighty man of these nations. China, Russia, Iran, and many other countries as well too. North Korea, and many more, Joel 3 and 9, read that again for edification's sake. Proclaim ye this amongst the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty man, let the men of war draw near and let them come up. Right, because the Gentiles, which is the other nations, and you seeing them, they in that readiness of preparing for war. That's why you've been seeing an increase of military training from the year 2020 all the way into 2022. We've been seeing a large increase of that. You're seeing allies training with one another against their adversaries and allies. So the tensions are stirring up in this warlike mindset between these nations. That's why it says in the book of Joel 3 and 9, proclaim these amongst the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty man. Right, you're starting to see the nations are in that mighty man warlike type war spirit is increasing in them, So with that, I hope this in the news sit down lesson was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Shai. And first and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Wakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching this word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered in the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And until next time, I will say shalom and a ball.